If you don't know what's going on, there's nothing wrong with that. If you think there's something wrong, but you don't know the details, or you know that you don't know enough to come to a definitive, concrete, hard position, don't do it. And there are ways of expressing yourself to qualify your opinion. Unless I'm mistaken, to the best of my knowledge, I may not know everything, but my initial reaction is the amount of people coming out and taking hard positions while they admit they don't even know what's going on. Journalists suspended? It's got to be wrong. The reflex is when journalists are suspended, especially several within a short period of time, the reflex is that something smells wrong. Twitter is, we call it the public square, the new public square. We almost refer to it as a utility. There's a lawsuit right now that Google is seeking to be recognized as a utility under Ohio law. So when you hear about multiple journalists being suspended in a very short window, you can be suspicious. What the heck is going on? Is this what the right was complaining about, but now being inflicted on the left? And you can have these reactions. What you have to be careful about doing is saying, I don't know what the hell's going on, but if this is not undone by tomorrow morning, I'm hauling your ass before Congress, which is what someone actually did. I think they've subsequently put their tweets on private, which makes me nervous or makes me feel bad. Somebody came out and said, I don't remember who it was, and it doesn't really matter. I don't know what the hell's going on, but if those accounts are not reinstated within an hour, I'm going to go to Capitol Hill and haul Elon before Congress. Right, dude, if you don't know what's going on, maybe hold off formulating such a strong opinion. So what? And I've gone through it. I've fleshed it out. I've found some of the tweets, which I'm not going to share because I'm not out there to break what are now the rules. The long and short of it is Elon flies on a private jet. There has been this Twitter account which tracks the movement of Elon's jet, as there has been accounts dedicated to tracking Bill Gates' private jet, because private jets have, they have to organize with the FAA. They have to organize. Their location has to be known, and there's ways of tracking all flights because there's databases to gather this information. And so sharing information about the location of public airlines, private jets, it's publicly obtainable information. And there was an account dedicated to tracking Elon Musk's jet. It was called Elon Jet or something. I don't know, whatever it's called on Twitter. What ended up happening is that the jet account basically was keeping real-time location tracking of Elon Musk's private jet, which apparently, allegedly, resulted in, or occurred contemporaneously with Elon Musk being swarmed at an airport and a car carrying his kid, which apparently was mistaken for him, being approached by a man wearing a face mask in a car who apparently jumped on the hood. Now, why do I apply these caveats? These things occurred at the same time, but it's not known definitively, although one can come to reasonable conclusions, that the being doxxed led to being located in real life. Having your real-time location tracked and disclosed on Twitter, some could argue that it led to him being found and the incident with his kid. Others could say they happened at the same time. Paparazzi is presumably always trying to follow Elon. We'll get back to that in a bit. And so they happen at the same time, but they're not causally related. Other people might say it doesn't even matter if they are causally related, because you can't prevent people from acting the fool in real life just because they got information online. It's a legitimate argument as well, depending on what that information is and depending on what that messaging is. Okay, I'm gonna get to this. Hypocrisy says, public figure, public information. Imagine having faith in digital daddy Elon. Public figure, yes. Public information, Hypocrisy, you might want to make sure you know what you're talking about. So that is what people are saying. Oh, it's publicly tracking plane flights. You can track any commercial airline. True, but you can't track any individual on that airline. And even if you could, for some reason, I suspect disclosing the whereabouts of one individual who's flying on a plane and when they're landing and putting it on Twitter would get you into trouble regardless. Public information is one of the issues at play here. So Elon comes out. Let me see if I can pull up the tweet. After the incident with him, comes out and says, Oh, come on, I had it. Here, I think this. Here we go. This is a tweet from Elon after the incident. And apparently they're either adjusting the rules, changing the rules, or clarifying existing rules, which is itself an issue to, for transparency, something to deal with. Elon Musk tweets, any account doxing real-time location info of anyone will be suspended as it is a physical safety violation. This includes posting links to sites with real-time location info. Posting locations someone traveled to on a slightly delayed basis isn't a safety problem, so is okay. Okay. That was one of his tweets. Some people are saying, oh, that's fine, Elon, but you're a hypocrite because not long ago, you tweeted something a little bit different. That's not the right one. Not long ago, I know I had the tweet. He tweeted, free speech, I stand for free speech, even websites that track my jet. Okay. In the grand scheme of this discussion, people have to separate the policy from potential accusations for hypocrisy. Some people are going to say, he's a hypocrite. It was barely a month ago. He said, I stand for free speech, even if it means tracking my private jet. Then he has real life problems. Then he changes the rules. Okay. You might be able to call him a hypocrite. You might be able to call him a human who learns from experience and says, oh, okay, well, I thought that was going to work, and it's not going to work as a real policy because if this happens to me, it can happen to other people. And if it happens to, I don't know, I don't want to name any names because I'm not putting anyone on blast. If it happens to a left-wing journalist, well, you know damn well they're going to come after me. So you could call it hypocrisy, or you could just call it learning from experience. Yeah, I thought it would work as a functional rule. I see the real life problems that it can have. We're not keeping that as a real-time rule. Setting aside Elon's hypocrisy, the question is this. As a principle, real-time location of someone's physical body, where they are, is that an exercise in free speech? Is that a crime? Some form of harassment? Even if it's not a crime, is it something that we as a community would agree could be limited under the rules, under the pretext of terms of service, a platform that we'd want to be a part of? Would we want to be a part of a platform where anybody at any time can have their private location disclosed because it might be publicly available and have a mob sicked on them in real time? Hypocrisy, set it aside. We don't know. Elon can either be a hypocrite or he can have learned from his mistake. As a policy, does this fall under doxing? Now, some people are saying it's public information. You can follow commercial airlines. You can follow private jets. They have to do this. If you want to fly a private jet, you're going to have to live with the consequences. You're going to have to live with the inconvenience that comes with the privilege of being able to fly on a private jet. Some people are going to say, well, you can track the jet, but you're not tracking a person. That's probably a disingenuous argument as well, because if you can track Elon's jet, chances are Elon's on that jet. So there's no distinction between tracking the jet and tracking the person. When you track a commercial airline, you're not tracking a person, you're tracking a plane carrying anonymous people. But there's a bigger issue here. And let me pull up this tweet. I wish I had them a little bit better laid out. Here. No, that's not it. Let me just see if this is not the one. That's not the right one. There was a question of oh, that's right. I'm not bringing that one up because the tweet from the kid, McSweeney's account, the account that got banned and, apparently might be facing legal troubles. The question as to whether or not it was public information. So the account that has since been banned says, Elon got PIA, but I've already identified it in the now impugned tweet. I'm not sharing any links. And it says, yeah, and this is another tweet from the same person. Yeah, so the PIA ICAO can be changed monthly if chosen to do so. But even then, it's relatively easy to identify. I'm confident I can write software to identify it, actually. So we're in a realm where an individual who's writing software to decode the identity of a plane, are we still within the realm of publicly available information that is just being shared on social media? Elon got PIA, but I've already identified it. Who knows what? First of all, who even knew? That's not what I want to bring up. Who even knew that this message? Who even saw the original impugned messages? Not everybody who's taken a hard position on it. Okay, well, and Bryant WM, $10 Rumble rant, says Elon actually paid for his jet info to be private. The person tracking had to dig and use private info to track the jet. So public plane one thing, private jet another. Brian TWM, thank you very much, because that's quite on point. PIA. Anyone even know that tweet existed? Probably not. It seems many people haven't seen Aaron Rupar's tweet that got him banned before coming to his unequivocal defense saying he didn't break any rules. This is just reprisals. We'll get to Aaron Rupar. What is a PIA? I didn't know. Here. ADS, this is from the Federal Aviation Administration, ADS-B privacy. FAA acknowledges the desire of some operators to limit the availability of real-time ADS-B position and identification information for a specific aircraft. To address privacy concerns, FAA has initiated the Privacy ICAO, dude, I don't know what these things are, Aircraft Address, PIA, the Privacy Info Address, whatever that is. To address privacy concerns, FAA has initiated the Privacy ICAO Aircraft Address, PIA, program to improve the privacy of the following eligible aircraft. U.S. registered, I don't know what these things are. Use a third-party call sign, whatever, flying in domestic airspace. The PIA program enables interested aircraft owners to request an alternate temporary ICAO aircraft address, which will not be assigned to the owner of the civil aviation registry car. The service will be available in two phases. Phase one, the PIA is now available. So the PIA, from what I can surmise in my morning's worth of research, is specifically a system that the FAA offers to preserve the privacy of a private jet in domestic airspace. The individual whose account was banned for doxing Elon Musk admitted that this PIA was in place, but he found a way. What did he say? What were the exact words that he said? Because they're somewhat damning. I've already identified it. I've already identified the private aviation address, whatever the heck it is. Oh yeah, it's going to be changed monthly. But even then, it's relatively easy to identify. I'm confident I can write software to identify it, actually. I mean, I don't know if that's hacking. I'm a computer idiot. I don't know if that qualifies as hacking, but I can certainly see someone making that argument. I don't think that qualifies as public information when it's specifically designed to ensure the privacy of the jet to which it's ascribed. So a lot of people taking very hard positions on this, for or against, and don't have the basic facts and the basic knowledge to understand what actually happened, deliberately sought the privacy of his jet, which apparently was deliberately hacked, intercepted, otherwise identified, posted to social media. And then Elon gets mobbed, coming out of the airport. His little ex, his kid, in a Tesla gets swarmed. Someone jumps on the hood. So it's not hacking. It's public six designs. I'm not sure what's public if someone has to find a code to identify publicly what was a private aviation number. So those are the facts. Now Elon says, okay, well, sure, I may have said what I said in the past. If I can find that tweet, I'll bring it up. But it's no longer going to be the case. And has since apparently banned some handles on the left. Aaron Rupar. Keith Olbermann got banned allegedly for doxing, according to. I would like to see the evidence. Elon says, "Do I bring back the accounts that were banned for doxing?" I'd like to know what the doxing consisted of. I'm not remaining objective for this just to pretend it. I'd like to see what Elon considers to be the doxing. Thus far, from what I'm able to surmise and pull up from the now deleted or suspended accounts, It seems like the individual who says, I only got what's public information, publicly admitted, I found other ways of identifying the fact that it was being deliberately privatized information, which allowed for the real-time location of Elon Musk. I'd like to see the evidence of the other accounts having doxed or allegedly violated the rules, even if it's a new rule. Can't see that for all of them. One we could see it for, and everyone who fell for his lie can just say, well, I got Rupar again. A.T. Rupar, Aaron Rupar, who has been immortalized in the Urban Dictionary for looks like I pulled a homer. If anyone remembers the Magic Johnson episode of The Simpsons, when pulling a homer meant getting very lucky by total fluke. And it made its way into the dictionary. Well, Rupar is in the dictionary now, and it means basically getting lied to. So anybody who follows his Substack, you got lied to, unless you noticed. Yes, my Twitter account was permanently suspended. Here's what's happened. Scroll to the bottom part for an update. I don't know when that update came up. We're gonna read the article as originally drafted. Early Thursday evening, I started receiving messages that my Twitter account was suspended. I initially thought I was being trolled, but I picked up my phone to check it. Oh, and lo and behold, it's true. Your account is permanently suspended. I have no idea what rules I purportedly broke. I haven't heard anything from Twitter. I can relate to this because when I was locked out for 24 hours for a tweet that was never removed and subsequently put back up, I never got an explanation either. I haven't heard anything from Twitter at all. I did publish a newsletter Wednesday morning featuring an article from Noah Berlatsky about Elon Musk's reactionary populism. Maybe that was why. I also posted a tweet late last night noting that Musk seemed to violate Twitter's policy against posting footage of someone without their consent in a tweet he posted yesterday. That was Elon posting a video that someone had taken of the guy who pulled up to the side of his kid's car wearing a mask. People, when you're in public, there's not an expectation of privacy, but having your real-time location publicly disseminated might be two different things, especially when you're in public potentially committing a crime, as was the individual who seemed to be tailing or whatever, allegedly jumped on the hood of Elon's kid's car. But it's hard to imagine how either of those things violated Twitter's policies. I have spent more than 5 years painstakingly documenting major developments in US politics on Twitter with video. So losing that archive instantaneously and for no good reason is a bar. First of all, I do feel bad for him. And I don't think I don't think he should be banned for a first-time offense. I don't know what his history was. And as an independent journalist running a newsletter business who relies on Twitter for new subscribers, being stripped of a huge part of my audience hurts. Okay, absolutely. My work is entirely supported by readers and will continue to be. Yeah. Anyways, I don't want to get to the punchline. Anyways, I'm holding out hope that Twitter will reconsider this move. So anything you could do to help me with my account restored is appreciated. At the very least, it would be nice if the company would try to explain what's going on. Remember that little thing we saw here? Scroll to the bottom for an update. Update. It just occurred to me. Just after remember, this guy is the one who painstakingly documents journalism. It occurred to me just after I published this that I did post a tweet yesterday noting that the Elon Jet account was suspended from Twitter, was still active on Facebook, with a link to the Facebook page. Oh, it just occurred to me. Must have forgotten about that one, where the account that was banned for posting a link that identified Elon in real time, or his geolocation in real time, that got suspended for that. It just occurred to me that I retweeted it with a link to that account off platform. My bad. How many hours, for anybody who knows this, how many hours lapsed before Rupar made that update? How many hours lapsed before the bulk of the people who read that article and will not know of the update came out and took to Twitter? How dare you ban Rupar? You banned Rupar because he exposed you for asking to dox the guy who allegedly jumped on your car in public and accosted you. That's why. Oh, I forgot, guys. Sorry, my bad. I forgot that I tweeted out an external link to the very link that got the guy's account banned on Twitter because it actively doxed Elon Musk. My bad. Trust me, next time I'll be better next time, I promise. So that's what happened with people taking to social media. I don't know what Rupar did, but I'm now seeing by Rupar's own admission, he done broke the rules. I don't know how many violations he was at that it led to an instant banning. But that's it. And what else? Let's get to some of the other disinformation out there, because it abounds, and people. Do you want to know? I'm painstakingly, and I say this taking a jibby jab at Rupar. Once people lose faith in you, and once people know that they can't have faith in you because you deliberately or recklessly or are just negligent in what you report and how quickly you report it, I take for granted they will always harbor that initial reflex, and it will forever taint their ability to take anything you have to say seriously. People should apply that rule to people, especially the Rupar. Oh yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what happened. I just got banned. Oh, I'm sorry. And other people. Let me just pull this up here. I started going down the rabbit hole of people covering this story to see what information they have. I came across, and I'm not putting this guy on blast because I don't know who he is. He seems to be a well-spoken individual. I was watching one of his videos to get to know who he was before retweeting this. Victor Shi says, Elon just suspended a bunch of journalists, including Aaron Rupar, who cover him without any reason. Okay, so you don't know what you're talking about right now, but now you're going to come to some grand principle of free speech, which you never supported until now in the first place. By silencing journalists, it's clear that Elon Musk doesn't care about free speech or democracy. He cares only about himself, which is why we should all be outraged. This guy didn't know about the Rupar admission. And this is everyone now who hold on. Okay, let's get to some of the bad takes, because now it's like if it were not for bad double standards, they would have no standards at all. And in order to maintain the lie, you have to have a good memory. Some of these people are just the biggest damn hypocrites on the planet, because now they're coming out in support of free speech. That free speech at issue in this particular circumstance, arguably the free speech to publicly dox someone's physical location in real time, even if it allegedly, but it's arguable now, is only based on public information. Like, people don't appreciate, I go to the white page analogy. You could pull someone's address up out of the white pages. It's publicly available information. If Kanye West picks a name out of the phone book because it's publicly available, puts it on blast and say, here's the address of Mr. X. Hey, it's public information. There's a problem there. People say the jets, you want the privilege of the jets. They've got these tail things, tail plates, or whatever. Public information, you can go to any white pages book, pull up someone's number, and it's public. When you post that to a social media platform, someone is going to say, why are you doing that? Is it newsworthy? Is it harassment? Are you not directly, indirectly, implicitly asking a mob to swarm and form? They support this now. They support the ability to do this. So if someone says, okay, well, I'll just take one who's been public. AOC, there's going to be an interesting distinction between public figures and public servants. We'll get there in a second. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is lecturing Elon Musk again. Elon, you're a public figure, an extremely controversial and powerful one. I get feeling unsafe. I get you. But descending into abuse of power and erratically banning journalists only increases the intensity on you. By the way, that is a dog whistle. Doing what you're doing only makes it worse. I get you're a public figure. You're controversial. People are going to get you. But banning journalists, that's only going to make it worse. Hey, you hear that, journalists? That's a dog whistle. And I don't tend to hear them unless they're there. That's what is implied there. But setting that aside, I get feeling unsafe, but descending into abuse of power and erratically banning journalists, because she also apparently knows that Aaron Rupar erratically banned after having admitted, I might have linked to the banned website. Take a beat and lay off the proto-fascism. I need someone in the chat to tell me what proto-fascism is. Maybe try putting down your phone. Oh, thank you. Thank you, AOC, whose claim to fame is having got elected to government, lecturing the richest human on earth who literally is, if not a rocket scientist, pretty damn close. He designs rockets, designs the best electric cars on earth. A billionaire entrepreneur who has run more businesses than AOC has worked for. She's in government now. She thinks take a beat. Hey, sit down. Shut up, Elon. Isn't that what, what's the senator from Hawaii? You're a public figure. Deal with it. Oh, look what she said. Look what she said about Trump's banning. I don't know, man. Last time he was here, this is reinstate former President Trump. I don't know, man. Last time he was here on this platform, he used to incite insurrection. Multiple people died that were killed by police officers. The vice president of the United States was nearly assassinated. Just a bloody lie like you've never seen. And hundreds were injured. But I guess that's not enough for you to answer the question. Twitter poll it is. Oh, no, that's that. When they fabricate the real world violence that results from Trump tweeting, now that we've seen it, I will not be going to the inauguration. That ban is fine. Ban someone for revealing Elon Musk's real-time location after he's received, meaningful threats. You're a celebrity. Deal with it. Hypocrites. And it's like, I genuinely think they forget about the fact that they're bald-faced hypocrites in the moment they try to take up the virtuous stance, not remembering they had taken up the exact opposite position, not that much long ago. That one's not even the worst that there's. Let me just see what in the chat here. Well, they're saying one person. No, Ashley Babbitt shot by the DC cop. Roseanne Boyland allegedly, arguably, there's some disagreement about her cause of death. Some people say she was assaulted, and that's why she died, not from a medical emergency. Anyhow. Take a beat. What the F? Michael Scriven. So, but that's not even the worst of the that's not even the worst of it. Hold on. There's such good ones that are just, they're Defiant L's. Like someone's got to go give them to Defiant L. Let me just find them. Okay. All right. Hold on. It'll come. I'll get back to that one. Where was the one? It was just... Oh, yeah. Stephen King. I mean, it would be funny if it weren't so delusionally sick. Stephen King. Why have journalists had their Twitter accounts suspended? Please explain. I am a washed-up has-been who's been tweeting maniacal crap. I am demanding an explanation from you, Elon. Explain now, pleb heathen. Please explain, and it had better be a good explanation. Hey, Stephen King, go do your own freaking homework before barking orders at the CEO of the company that runs the platform from which you're barking orders at him. It's not hard to do it. It took me about 45 minutes this morning. Why have journalists had their Twitter accounts suspended? Please explain. Oh, Stephen, is this you filthy hypocrite? Sir, free speech does not include the right to yell fire in a crowded theater. That is what Donald Trump was doing and why he has been rightfully banned. Preposterous. And I mean, it doesn't end, but that's it. So the question is going to be: there are two sides. There are two sides to this. The bottom line, the free speech side of this, is it free speech to publicly disclose someone's location from publicly available information? The question I would always ask is, why would anyone be doing it? Is it someone asked the good hypothetical? You're at the county fair, and Elon Musk is ordering a corn dog right in front of you. And you go to Twitter and you say, oh my God, Elon Musk is 3 people ahead of me at the county fair. that might have the same real world consequences, especially for paparazzi. But would that be forbidden doxing? I would argue not, actually, to the extent that when Elon is in public unmasked, his expectation of privacy is going to be greatly reduced. And if he's at a fair eating a corn dog, chances are he's got his private security and is prepared accordingly. Having his position outed by others, for what reasons? Ostensibly to have him hounded and harassed? Arguable. Bottom line, however, whether or not you think it is suppression of free speech and an unwarranted one or a warranted one, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Just make rules that are clear, concise, and applied without political bias, and everyone will either be happy or unhappy. The problem here is that Elon seems to have changed the rules from a prior tweet of his own, changed the rules overnight to retroactively punish accounts that had violated that rule, to suspend them. That could be a problem, setting aside whether you agree or disagree with the rule, whether or not it's clear or unclear. Retroactively punishing someone for what was not a violation at the time they committed the act that is now being punished as a violation, that's problematic in law, that's problematic in ethics, that's problematic in all respects. Have a law, have a rule that says doxing will include publicly identifying someone's location, even if it's via means that are publicly available. You may or may not like the rule. You'll know it, you'll live by it, or you can go do that on Mastodon, see what happens. All right. That is, I believe, the last of the Elon issue. Let's go to the chat, actually. You know what? CEO Rumble, if you're watching, can we get polls in the chat? In Rumble. Let's get polls so we can do a poll. Everyone in the chat, one, justified suspensions based on the evidence that we've looked over here. Maybe there's been some that are not justified. Let's simplify the question. Make it a justifiable rule to prohibit public identification of location of an individual without their consent. Yes, 1. No, 2. It is justifiable is a 1. The rule to prohibit public identification of the location of an individual is justified. 1 yes, 2 no. And as I said that I wanted to remember one nuance to discuss. 1 yes, 2 no. 1 or 2. The one nuance that people should be very careful not to fall into the trap. When AOC says I receive threats, and if I live with this every day, there is a difference between a public servant and a public figure. Public servants represent the people in some meaningful way. When you apply for that job and get it, the people you represent need to know where you are. You're a public servant, like, I don't know, a police officer, a sergeant, a captain. I need to know where you are if I'm going to go and report a crime, if I want to show up and meet with you, if I want to show up and see the people who represent me in my constituency. They're public servants, and therefore when they're at work, when they're on the job, it's normal or much more expected that we should know where they are so that we can consult with them and see and meet with the people who represent us, who ran for the position and won it. So saying AOC is on Capitol Hill for a protest at 3:00, or she's at her office in wherever, that's different than saying Elon Musk, a public figure but a private citizen, is landing at LaGuardia and is coming out gate 1. There's a difference there. Even public servants, when they're on vacation, for example, where Justin Trudeau is when he has his daily schedule is different than where he is when he's on private vacation. And so knowing the location and one being public and therefore of interest to everybody who he represents as a politician, a public servant, I think he should get the thumbs up. It will be arguable when he's on vacation, he's staying at Chateau whatever on Tofino Island, as he's not answering the protesters because he's often hiding after he got over his 3rd bout of COVID. So there's that distinction. But that's it. Sixty Design says harmful, intentional, meant to put in danger. Doxing should be illegal, but public knowledge is public knowledge. Agreed. I mean, I agree with that. Just the bottom line is public knowledge that you then put on blast on social media. The question then becomes, it's public knowledge. Anybody who wants it can go get it. I'm merely facilitating, letting them know where the judges reside. No, it would be very easy to argue that putting it on blast on social media, so you just let people know what is already public information as to where someone resides, where someone's going to be, where they are without their permission. Everybody knows why they're doing that. Typically, it's not for good reasons. Could be for paparazzi. Could be, oh, Brad Pitt is being spotted at a store on Rodeo Drive. Nike 7 says, do I take a picture in public? Elon is in the background. Did I break the rules even if I didn't see him? The obvious answer would be no. And then the other thing is he says, look, by the time you post that picture within short order, Elon will no longer be there. But it gets to a bit of the intention. You take a picture in public. It would get fuzzy. Take a picture in public. Look who's behind me. OJ's having lunch at this cafe right now. Some people say that's doxing, trying to get a mob to harass somebody. Look who I just saw, which is typically how it happens, is not he's there now, everybody go get him. And then people talk about the paparazzi as the analogy. First of all, paparazzi do not publicize when they know someone's going to be somewhere because they don't want anybody else showing up. When people take to social media and say, this is where Elon's going to be, I found it. I made a code and cracked the privacy thing that he had implemented on his plane. This is where he's going to be. It's not easy to argue why someone is doing that. And even if they're not doing it for nefarious reasons, the easy harm that can come of it. And for people who say, Elon, live with it, you know what happens next? Elon says, okay, big middle finger to all you journalists, I'll live with it. I got money for security. I have 24/7 security. Won't be a problem for me. Guess what happens when the people who don't like you doing it to me do it to you? Then you're going to come groveling to Elon and say, but Elon, I don't have the money you have for private security. You've got to ban the people doxing my real-time location. That's how it's going to go down. One way or another, the disingenuous, lack of standard blue check mark on the left who are blasting Elon for imposing this rule would blast Elon for not imposing this rule if he says, okay, fine. Dox all you want with public information. Go ahead and do it on journalists. Oh, it's public information. Where your office is, New York Times, where you go for lunch. It's public information. Okay. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I've got security. Now you're going to come groveling and say, you're putting too much heat on me. People hate me. I can't do my job now. I'm a journalist. How am I supposed to go undercover if people keep ratting me out? I don't have what your means to protect myself, Elon. You've got to protect me, and damn you for protecting yourself. One way or another, they're going to come after Elon. The only question is to have good answers, especially ones to reconcile with past tweets and to make clear rules that are applied evenly without political motivation or political bias.